Good morning, students. This is Anil Kumar Reddy. In this video, we are going to start synthesis. So we are going to look into problems of synthesis. First, we will be looking into RC and RL functions. Specifically to say, we are going to look into RC impedance and RL admittance functions and their properties. Once you got the good idea about those properties, then you can solve, or you can realize, or you can synthesize problems. Okay, problems on synthesis. Now let's get started. So first we are going to realize synthesis of RC impedance or RL admittance functions. Okay, so in order to synthesize, first you need to decide whether the given function is an RL impedance or RC admittance functions. Okay, so for that purpose, what you have to do is first you have to try to understand the properties of RL impedance function or RL admittance function. So the first property will be if the given function has a pole near to the origin or pole at the origin. Okay, the starting root must be a pole and that pole must be nearer to the origin. Okay, in that case, then we can conclude one point. So second point is poles and zeros must be interlaced along negative real axis of S-plane. So negative real axis of S-plane means it is a horizontal axis. Okay, left half of S-plane is having that negative real axis. So the poles and zeros must be interlaced along negative real axis. Okay, interlacing means alternate. First we will start with pole, then zero, then pole, zero, and so on. Like that, you must have interlaced poles and zeros along negative real axis. So that's the second point. And the third point is the residues of RC impedance or RL admittance function must be real and positive. Residues means when you are doing partial fractions, you must get only positive partial fractions. But if you are getting any negative residues or negative fractions, then it is not a immittance function. And immittance means it is the combination of both impedance and admittance. So impedance and admittance functions are collectively called as immittance functions. Okay, so if in a question, if you can see the function, first you have to look at the poles and zeros. Also, whether pole is coming first or zero is coming first. If if a pole is coming first in the all roots of numerator and denominator, then you can say a pole is nearer to the origin or at the origin. After that, you have to verify second point, which means poles and zeros must be interlaced along negative real axis. Interlacing means alternate. First you get pole, then zero, then pole, then zero, like that. You should not get any two poles, consequent poles, or you cannot get any two consequent zeros. Okay. So next, third point is you must get the negative residues. Most of the cases, if you can satisfy first two conditions, then it is 99% it will be a RC impedance or RL admittance function. Okay. So next we will be looking into this table. By looking into this table, you can understand or you can realize whether the given network is having an inductor or capacitor or a resistor. For that, first we need to understand the elements. So in passive elements, we have three elements: resistor, inductor, and capacitor. So resistor is denoted by the letter R. Impedance, and remember we are talking impedance and admittance in S domain. We are not talking about time domain. Okay. So in S domain, impedance of resistance is same. It will not change. And the admittance of a resistor will be 1 by R. The admittance is denoted by the letter Y, and Y is equal to 1 by R. Here Z is equal to R for a resistor. And for an inductor, if you take an inductor, impedance of an inductor is Z is equal to L into S, because when you want to write the impedance of an inductor in time domain, what you will write? Let us say voltage drop across the inductor will be L into di by dt. Okay, if you apply Laplace transform to that L into di by dt, then it will give you L into S into I of S minus I of 0 plus. Okay, and if you consider 0 initial conditions, I of 0 plus will become 0. So you are left with only L into S into I of S. Okay, so impedance of an inductor in S domain V is Ls. Okay, but in time domain, what you will write? L Henry you will write. L Henry. Henry is the unit of inductance. But in S domain, you have to write it as L into S. Okay. After that, if you want to write admittance of an inductor in S domain, you can just write the inverse of Ls, that is 1 by Ls. 1 by Ls is the admittance of an inductor. Okay. Next, if you take a capacitor, so capacitor is having impedance of 1 by Cs. Z is equal to 1 by Cs for a capacitor. And once you got the Z, you can write Z is equal to 1 by Y. Okay. Or you can write Y is equal to 1 by Z. So you can write 1 by Cs. Therefore, you will get impedance of capacitor, sorry, admittance of capacitor as Cs. Cs in the sense, you have to understand this as Cs by 1. Here also, Ls by 1. Like that you have to understand. Here also, R by 1. Okay. So this is how you have to understand the impedance and admittances of all three elements in the given function in S domain. Okay, we are only talking about frequency domain or S domain. We are not talking about time domain analysis. Okay, so after this table, first let us solve an example so that you can understand it better. So you have to synthesize this network. Okay, so Z of S is equal to, so given function, first what you have to observe is whether the given function is in Z of S or Y of S. Okay, Y of S means admittance, Z of S means impedance. So the given function is an impedance function. Okay, that's for sure. Now you have to decide whether it is an RC impedance or RL impedance. So in order to decide whether it is an RC impedance, in order to decide whether it is an RC impedance or RL impedance function, you have to find roots of numerator and denominator, which means poles and zeros of the given function. So for the numerator, you are having s square plus 5s plus 4, so that you can factorize it into s plus 4 into s plus 1, and the denominator can be written as s into s plus 2. So here now you can see, you can find poles and zeros here. So this is a pole, s equal to 0 is a pole at the origin. So according to our properties, if a pole is present at the origin, then we can say that it is an RC impedance function. Also, poles and zeros must lie on negative real axis and they must be interlaced. As you can see here, pole is a first pole is at the origin, s equal to 0 at the origin. Next, s equal to 1 is a 0. Next, s equal to minus 2 is a pole. Next, s equal to 4 is a 0. So you are getting pole 0, pole 0. So you are getting interlaced poles and zeros on negative real axis, and also pole is present at the origin. So you can decide it as a, so the given function is an RC impedance function. In this method you have to decide. Okay, you cannot simply decide it by just looking into it. First you have to look at the function, whether it is Z of S or Y of S. Once you have got an idea that it is z of s, then you have to look into the poles and zeros. If the pole is present at the origin and poles and zeros are interlaced along negative real axis of s plane, then you can decide that function as a RC impedance function. So once you got the idea, now what we will do is we will try to synthesize the network in Foster 1 form. So there are actually four methods that you can synthesize a network: Foster 1, Foster 2, Coir 1 and Coir 2. Okay. So Foster 1 is used for impedance functions. Foster 2 is used for admittance functions. Admittance means if the given function has y of s, then you have to use Foster 2. Now the given function is z of s now, that's why we can use Foster 1 form. So we are going to take this problem and we are going to find or realize all the three methods, like that is Foster 1, Coir 1 and Coir 2 for this problem. Okay. Suppose if the given function is y of s, then you have to realize in three methods: Foster 2, Coir 1 and Coir 2. So Coir 1 and Coir 2 can be used for any problem, whether it is an impedance function or admittance function, it doesn't matter. But Foster 1 is for only impedance functions and Foster 2 is for only admittance functions. Okay. So first we have to write the general form of a Foster 1 form. So general form of Foster 1 means the given z of s. Okay. Now let me tell you, the given z of s is, what we are going to do is we are going to separate the given z of s into three parts. So z of s is divided into three parts: z1, so this is z1 of s, this is z2 of s, and this is z3 of s. Okay. Suppose, okay, so this is z of s is divided into three parts. So what we are basically doing here is we are doing partial fractions, nothing more than partial fractions we are doing. So here you are having free s term in the denominator now. So for that term you have to write a naught by s. Okay. And another term is there in the denominator, that is s plus 2. For that one we are writing a1 by s plus 2. So after that, so we will assume that there is a resistor at infinity. Assume that there is a resistor at infinity. Okay. So this is the standard form. After writing standard form, we will decide whether the given function has all all the terms present in the standard form or not. Okay. So this is a standard form. For any problem, first you need to write z of s equal to a naught by s plus a1 by s plus 2 plus r infinity. Suppose if you are having another term here, like for example, if you are having s plus 6, suppose if you are having s plus 6 here, then what you have to have? Then after a1, you have to write plus a2 by s plus 6, a2 by s plus 6 plus r infinity. Like that you have to write. Okay. But in our problem, we have only two terms in the denominator. So we have written only two arbitrary constants, a0 and a1. R infinity must be there in every problem. Okay. So after that, so finding arbitrary, to find arbitrary constants, what you have to do is you will have to find the first z1. If you want to find, as I told you already, the given function is divided into three parts: z1, z2, z3, and they are connected with a plus. Plus means in series. So we are going to divide the given function into z1. We are going to disintegrate the given function into z1, z2 and z3, and finally we are going to connect them in series in the form of a diagram. Okay. Why I'm saying it as series means we are using plus sign here. Okay. So therefore, to find z1, first we need to find a naught, because z1 is equal to a naught by s. Okay. So a naught is equal to s plus 1 into s plus 4 by s plus 2 when s equal to 0. If you substitute s equal to 0, then you're going to get a naught as 2. So a naught is equal to 2. Once you got a naught, so once you got a naught is equal to 2. Okay. A naught equal to 2. Then you can find, you'll have to assume that first term in the z of s, of Foster 1 form is a capacitor at 0, and the last term will be resistor at infinity, and in between capacitor and a resistor there will be parallel combination of resistor and capacitor, that you have to understand. So first term in the Foster 1 form is a capacitor, then resistor and capacitor parallel combination. Okay, resistor and capacitor parallel combination, and finally there will be a resistor at infinity. So this is the standard diagram of Z of S. For any problem, first you have to draw this diagram. Okay, so first we are going to find C naught value, then you are going to find R1, R2, okay, and finally R infinity. That is the procedure. Okay, so in order to do that, what we are doing is we are going to find the value of A naught. Once you got the value of A naught, and A naught and C naught is equal to 1 by A naught, C naught equal to 1 by A naught, that you just remember. C naught equal to 1 by A naught, that equal to 1 by 2, which means 0.5 farads. That is the value of Z1. And after that, we need to find the value of Z2. So Z2 is a, as I told you, Z2 is a parallel combination of resistor and capacitor. So in order to find Z2, first you need to find the value of A1. Okay, in order to find the value of A1, take the given function and you have to modify it such that S plus 1 into S plus 4 by S when S equal to minus 2. And you will get A1 equal to 1. And you, if you substitute A1 equal to 1, you can write Z2 is equal to A2 by, sorry, A1 by S plus 2. Okay, which means you can write 1 by S plus 2. So it is in the form of 1 by Y1. We can assume that it is in the form of 1 by Y1. So why we are assuming again admittance means we are going to find the value of resistor and capacitor. Okay, separately. If you want to find, then you have to separate the value. So Y1 is equal to S plus 2, and it can be separated. It can be separated as S plus 2. Okay, and you have to assume that Y2 is equal to S and Y3 is equal to 2. As you can see, if S is in the numerator and it is an admittance function, you just go to the table. Okay, you just go to the table. You can remember that if the capacitor is the element, then impedance of capacitor is 1 by Cs, which means S in the denominator, and the admittance of the capacitor is Cs, which means S in the numerator. Which means if you compare this term and this term, you are having 1 into S is equal to C into S. Is that okay? Therefore, C equal to 1. Okay, in this case, C can be called as C1. Therefore, C1, capacitor 1 is equal to 1 farad. Similarly, if you compare this one, second one, admittance. So there is no S term in the 2. There is no S term here, no. Therefore, admittance is equal to 2. And from the admittance, what is the impedance? Impedance 1 by R1 is equal to 2. Therefore, R1 is equal to 1 by 2 ohms. So like that you have to understand the values from the given function. So after finding, so why we are writing, and also you have to understand that here you have plus sign between y2 and y3. So if two admittances are added, what you have to understand, they are connected in parallel. If two impedances are added, you have to understand that they are connected in series. Okay, so you can understand that R1 and C1 is connected in parallel because admittances are added here. Okay, so after that you have to find R infinity. R infinity can be found from observation. So how to observe R infinity means, first you have to look into this function, given function. So for the given function, the coefficient of S square of numerator is 1 and the coefficient of denominator is also 1. If you divide numerator with the denominator, then what you are going to get as first quotient will be 1. Therefore, R infinity equal to 1. Suppose if you have 2s square here, then R infinity equal to 2. Suppose if you have 2 at the denominator and 1 at the numerator, suppose if you have 2 here and 1 here as coefficients, then you have to write R infinity as 1 by 2. So like that you have to understand from the given function, and you have to see that there must be a square in the numerator and also there must be a square in the denominator. Okay, and you cannot change it. Suppose if there is an s cube term, denominator must also have s cube term. So the power of numerator and the highest power of numerator and the highest power of denominator must be same. Okay, so like that you can understand. So after that, so after finding the value of r infinity, then you have to draw the diagram. As I told you already, first one is a capacitor at 0 and its value is 0.5 farad. Second one is a series and parallel combination of R1 and RC, R1 and C1 in parallel, and finally we are going to draw a resistor, and these three combinations must be in series because we are writing Z of S is equal to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. If you are adding impedances, then you have to draw the diagram in series, and if you are adding the admittances, then you have to draw them in parallel. So in like that you have to draw poster 1 diagram. So this is called poster form. This is called poster 1 form. So poster 1 form is only used for impedance functions. If the given function is in y of s, then you have to use poster 2. Okay, and here it is poster 1. And what we are going to do is we are going to synthesize the same problem in coir 1 series so that you can understand it better. Okay, so coir 1, in order to do coir 1, what you have to do is partial fraction expansion. So in order to do that, what you have to do is you have to arrange numerator and denominator in such a way that the highest power to lowest power. Here you can see first you are getting s square, next s power 1, next s power 0. Denominator also s square, s power 1. So you cannot change the order. The order must be from highest power to lowest power both in numerator and denominator. So after that, what we have to do is we have to divide s square plus 5s plus 4 with s square plus 2s. So this is how we have to do. So s square plus 5s plus 4 is divided by s square plus 2s. So what you have to do is first you have to look into the term, first terms. So if you want to write s square in here, what you have to do is you have to multiply this divider with 1. So then only you will get s square, no? So s square plus 2s. So here in the quotient you have to write 1. So you can write s square, and there is another term that is 2s. 2s into 1 is 2s. So s minus s square minus 2s. So if you subtract, s square and s square gets cancelled. 5s minus 2s is 3s and there is 4. Therefore 3s plus 4 is the remainder. Now what you have to do is you have to divide s square plus 2s with 3s plus 4. So you'll have to write s square plus 2s here. So here you have to select a quotient in such a way that you must get s square here. You must get s square here. How to get it means, as you can see here you are having s square and the quotient is 1. Okay, therefore you have to write 1 into, and for this divider you have s quotient as 3. Therefore you have to write 1 by 3. Okay, and here you are having s square, but here you are having s power 1. Therefore you have to multiply this with s. So the given, so the coefficient will be s by 3. So like that you have to write. Okay, following the same concept you have to continue the fraction until you get 0. So for this one, 3s into s by 3 will give you s square, and 4 into s by 3 will give you 4s by 3. So if you subtract this s square and s square gets cancelled, 2s minus 4s by 3 will give you 2s by 3 as remainder. Again you have to divide this 3s plus 4 with this remainder, new remainder. Okay, so procedure is same. Again you have to compare first two terms. So this one you are having s, here also you are having s, powers are same, so no need to write s in the numerator or denominator. Then you have to look into the values. Here you are having quotient 3, therefore you have to write 3, quotient as 3. Here you are having 2 by 3, no? Therefore you have to invert it, 3 by 2. So if you multiply, you are getting 9 by 2. If you multiply them, you are getting 9 by 2 as the quotient. So 9 by 2, if you multiply 2s by 3 with 9 by 2, then you are going to get 3s. Once you got 3s, that will be cancelled, remainder will be 4. Again, this 2s by 3 is written here. So 4 divided by, sorry, 2s by 3 divided by 4 means you have to write s by 6 here, then only you will get s by 3, and finally the remainder is 0. So after getting all the quotients positive, remember, if you are getting any negative coefficients, you have to stop the process. Okay. But if you are getting all the quotients, quotient means this one, 1 s by 3. So this 1 s by 3, 9 by 2, and s by 6 are called quotients. All those quotients must be positive. Okay. If you are getting at least one negative, then it is not possible to realize the network. Okay. So after dividing this, what you have to do is, you will have to write z of s in this form. Okay, this is partial fraction expansion form. So z of s equal to first remainder 1 plus 1 by second remainder plus 1 by third remainder plus 1 by fourth remainder. Like that you have to write. Once if you write all these values like this, then you have to write the standard form. So first one is z1, z1 plus 1 by y1. So which means this, we are first dividing z1 and this as z2. Let us assume this as z1 and z2. We are splitting the first term into two terms, z of s into z1 and z2. After that, what we are doing, plus z3. Like that you are dividing, for which means you are separating one part at a time. So first z1, then y1, then z2, then y2. So after that you have to compare this one and this one. So z1 means, so this is z1 and this is z1. So there is no s term in the numerator or denominator here. There is no s term. If there is no s term in the numerator or denominator, then you have to understand it as a resistor. Therefore, I have written this as resistor R1. And if you take this term s by 3, here you are having y1 admittance. So you are having an admittance and s in the numerator, which means it is only possible with capacitor. As you can see, 1 by cs is the admittance of impedance of capacitor, and the admittance of capacitor is cs by 1. cs by 1, which means s in the numerator for admittance. So here you are having admittance and s in the numerator. Therefore, C1 is equal to 1 by 3. Is that okay? If you compare, C1 by 3 is equal to s by 3. Therefore, C1 is equal to 1 by 3 farads. That you can decide. Similarly, 9 by 2, and there is no s term here. Therefore, you have to understand it as a resistor. Therefore, R is equal to 9 by 2 ohms. And s by 6. S by 6 means, again it is a capacitor, and that value will be 1 by 6 farads. So in this way, you have to compare and understand the values. So after having all the values, what you have to do is, you will have to draw the diagram. So first one is an impedance. Okay, impedance means Z1. So first term is a impedance function. Therefore, you have to write resistor in series. Then, and second term is a capacitor in admittance. Capacitor in admittance form. Therefore, you have to write it in shunt. Third one is again resistor in series. Fourth one is admittance in parallel or shunt. So like this you have to write coil 1. So coil 1 realization. This is called coil 1 realization. If you can see the poster form, we got four elements. First capacitor, then parallel combination of resistor and capacitor, and finally a resistor. So we got two resistors and two capacitors for poster 1. And in coil 1 also we are getting same number of elements. The number of elements will not change. Maybe their values and the connection may change, but their values, number of elements will not change. That is one indication that you are doing correct. Okay. So after that, we are going to solve this problem using coil 2 synthesis. Okay. For coir2 synthesis, we are going to modify the given function as first we are going to write in an ascending order of numerator and denominator powers. Ascending order means here s power 0, s power 1, s square. Denominator s power 1 and s square. Like that we have to write. So after that we have to follow the same procedure of partial fraction expansion. Okay. So partial fraction expansion means you have to divide all the terms until you get 0. So this is partial fraction expansion. So here s 2s plus s square is dividing now 4 plus 5s plus s square. Now the remainder here is 2 by s. How to get 2 by s as remainder? Let me tell you. Here you have no s term here. You can see here you can see you have no s term here. So no need to. So and here you have an s term here, which means here you should not get s no. For that I need to write 1 by s. 1 by s. So if the divider is having s, quotient will have 1 by s. Okay. And here you have 4 no. So you write 4 in the numerator. And here you have 2 no. So you write 1 by 2. 1 by 2. So this 2 and 4 gets cancelled. You will get 2 by s. Finally you are going to get 2 by s. That will be the quotient. Okay. So if you multiply 2s with 2 by s, what you will get? 4. You are going to get 4. That's what I have written here. So 4 and s square into 2 by s, you will get 2s. S square into 2 by s. So 1 s and s gets cancelled, so that you will get 2s. So the remainder will be minus 4 minus 2s. So this 4 and this 4 gets cancelled. 5s minus 2s will be 3s. 3s plus s square is there no, so that you have to import. Therefore 3s plus s square is the remainder. Once you got the remainder, then what you have to do? You will have to divide this term with the new remainder. So 2s plus s square by 3s plus s square. Again you have to predict the quotient. How to predict? You have to compare again. First term is having s term. Here also first term is having s term. Therefore no need to write s. And here you are having 2. Therefore you have to write 2. Here you are having 3 as quotient. Therefore you have to write 2 by 3. Okay. So that 2 by 3 is written here. So if you multiply divider with quotient, then 3s into 2 by 3. 3 and 3 gets cancelled, you are going to get 2s. So this 2s gets cancelled. S square into 2 by 3, 2s square by 3. S square minus 2s square by 3 is s square by 3. That will be the new remainder. So this remainder has to be used as a divider for this one, 3s plus s square. So again you have to decide whether the quotient is 9 by s or not. How to decide? You just compare. Here you have 3. Therefore you must get 3. Here you have s power 1. Here you have s square. Therefore you must get 1 by s square. 3 by s square you have to write. 3s here in the numerator you have to write. Okay. And here you have 3 in the denominator. Therefore you have to write 3 in the numerator. So 3 into 3, that is 9. 9 by s and square gets cancelled, so that you will get 9 by s. So like that you have to write. Okay. So 9 by s you have to write. If you write 9 by s square into 9 by s, you will get 3s. So 3s and 3s gets cancelled, and there is a remainder, that is s square written here. S square, now it is dividing s square by 3, so that you will get 1 by 3 here, and finally the result will be 0. So once you got 0, then you have to write in the same method that I told you earlier. So that method is here 2 by s. So first quotient. So first quotient is 2 by s plus 1 by second quotient plus 1 by third quotient plus 1 by fourth quotient. So like that you have to write. So after writing all the quotients, then you have to write the general form like this. So Z of S is equal to, first one is a impedance function, then admittance, impedance, admittance. So after comparing this one, this general form and all the quotients, then you can decide. So here you have a impedance function and S in the denominator. It is only possible with capacitor because the impedance of capacitor is C1 by Cs, which means S in the denominator. Therefore, you can write 1 by C1 of S. So C1 is equal to 1 by 2. So C1 is equal to 1 by 2. By comparison, you can say. Then 2 by 3 equal to Y1, which means R is equal to, sorry, R1 is equal to 3 by 2, you can write. Similarly, you can compare third one, 9 by S. 9 by S equal to 1 by C2S. Therefore, C2 is equal to 1 by 9 farads. And finally, admittance, Y2 is equal to 1 by 3. Therefore, resistor R2 is equal to 3 ohms. So after comparison, you can find the values of all the elements. Then after finding all the elements, you have to draw the diagram. First one is an impedance function. No? So you have to draw in series arm. So this is called series arm. You have to draw it in series and its value. Then second one is an admittance. So it is drawn in shunt. Third one is again impedance. Therefore series. Fourth one is again admittance. So it is drawn in shunt. So this is how you have to draw in coir to synthesis. So remember one thing, if the question is asked to synthesize, just in any method you can follow any one method is enough. Foster one or coir one or coir two. Okay. Suppose if he is specifically asking to find the value or synthesize the network in a Foster form, you have to follow only Foster one. If he is not specific about the method, you can follow any one method, either Foster one or coir two. Here also you can observe in coir two also the number of elements here is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So whether it is a Foster form or coir form or coir 1, coir 2, whatever it is, the number of elements will be same. Only connections and values will change. Okay. So this is called RC impedance function. The same method can be explained for RL admittance function because properties are same. But instead of Z of S, we are going to get Y of S. Instead of capacitor, we are going to have inductor. That's the only difference. Okay. So I hope you understand it well. And this is it about re, uh, realization of RL impedance, sorry, RL admittance and RC impedance functions. Thank you. Also, one more thing, further examples you can refer from Chakrabarti textbook. That is okay. That's enough for you. If you can follow Chakrabarti, that can be it would be better for you to understand. Okay. Thank you.